What's up, you guys? So today I'm going to be talking a little bit about nursing school and my experience with LPN school and how I got here.
It means no worries for the rest of your days. It's our problem-free philosophy.
So for those of you who don't know, I should be in my 4th year of college, but I am doing a 1-year certificate program right now to get my LPN. The LPN is called the Licensed Practical Nurse, and it's basically a step down from your associate's level RN, where you can give meds and you can do basic cares, like observations as they call it. You're not allowed to technically assess a patient. You don't do diagnostics. We can't give IV push meds. But other than that, we can do a lot. Most LPNs work in a long-term care facility, or they work as a tech essentially on some of the more critical care units. LPNs do not usually work in like emergency care. Sometimes they work in ORs, scrub techs, and a lot of times at your doctor's office, the person who comes in and like weighs you, takes your height, does your blood pressure, that kind of stuff is an LPN. I am hopefully moving my LPN down to Florida just because, first of all, in New York State there's a need for LPNs, but Florida there's a huge need for LPNs. Second of all, in Florida you can do a bit more. Their scope of practice is a little bit bigger. And then lastly, I just want to move to Florida. I don't want to live here anymore. And then for those of you looking at going to LPN school, if you don't think you're going to stay in the same state or even the same county that you live in currently, definitely think about going to an accredited program just because it'll make it way easier to get reciprocity in another state. So you don't have to worry about being like, oh, well, I want to move from New York to Wyoming, but I don't have a nursing license in Wyoming, so I can't work. Things like that. Not that I know why you'd want to live in Wyoming, but no judgment. I have 1 class left to take till I get my associate's degree that I'll be taking this summer, so it's not a huge deal for me, but that's another thing to think about. As far as LPN school goes, for me, getting into the school is pretty easy. You have to take in Psychology 101, English 101 type class, basic freshman English, whatever you want to call it. And then we had to take a TEAS exam. So the TEAS exam was your math, science, English, and reading. If you're from New York State, it follows the regents, basically. It was super easy. I studied way more than I needed to for it, and I think I got an 87 on my TEAS exam, which put me in the 98th percentile nationally and in the 99th percentile within my school. So if you want tips on how to study for your TEAS exam, let me know. I would be more than happy to do a video about that. My entrance was basically just the TEAS and the 2 classes, so it was pretty simple. I do recommend, if you're planning on going on after your LPN, trying to study really hard for your TEAS, because if you do well on it the first time, you won't have to retake it to get into RN school. But if you have to retake it to get into RN school, it doesn't look as good as someone who got like an 80-something on it the first time. Also, for the TEAS, you can buy things on the ATI website. However, I would recommend, honestly, just going to your local library and borrowing a study book, because at least my local library, I was able to just go and take one out for 3 weeks, whatever, and I just wrote notes in like a notebook. Super simple. Super cool. The TEAS exam was the only other requirement, and then we had to write a personal statement. But overall, it was a pretty easy entrance. Nothing like your traditional RN school where you have to have 800 different prerequisites done. So that was nice because I have 3 prereqs left. Well, 2.5. I'm taking A&P online right now, along with my LPN program. Crazy, I know. But yes, if you're looking for an LPN program, if you're in New York State, hit me up. I can let you know which schools are accredited within the state. And then also you can just look on your state nursing board online. So as far as the LPN goes, it's not the role I would have gone for in the first place. I was going to go straight for my RN, but because I was offered this deal of a lifetime, I'm taking my LPN first, and then I'll be doing my RN in Florida at this point. So for nursing school and just school in general, the one biggest thing I can tell you guys is that it is 10 months of your life, and you know what? You have to make sacrifices during that time to be successful in school, but once the time is over, you'll realize that it's really worth it, and that being a nurse and being able to work while you're still getting your RN is worth the sacrifices that you have to put in. So currently, I work 2 jobs, and I also go to school full-time. We go to school from 8 a.m. to 3:30 most days of the week. There's usually one day a week where we're only there for 2 hours a day, and 1 day a week where we have clinical, which starts at 7:30 in the morning and ends around 3:30 depending on the day and the floor and the instructor. You know, all that fun stuff. So I sit in lecture for a long time and I find it very hard to focus a lot of the time. But the biggest thing I can tell you if you're having issues with that is just take notes, you know. If you're taking notes, it means you're actively engaging, so that helps a lot. Don't have video games on your laptop at all because it's distracting. Turn the Wi-Fi off on your computer because that'll help minimize distractions. My school actually, we're pretty sure turns the Wi-Fi off in each room during lecture time. We're like pretty sure they can turn the router off. Not 100% sure, but like 98. So, I mean, it's awful, but it helps a lot. So yeah. If you guys have any questions about nursing school, please leave them down below. I will be doing a clinical expectations video, a organization video, and a planner video pretty soon. And hopefully I'll do a day in the life of a student nurse as well, because I think that would be pretty cool for you guys. If you enjoyed this and you would like more nursing content, please let me know and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Bye!